Good day, I'm Stephen McHugh, and this is your JIS News for Friday, December 7. The Maypen Hospital is to benefit from a digital mobile C-arm for its orthopedic and surgery department. A grant contract agreement was signed on Thursday between the Embassy of Japan and the hospital to provide $10 million for acquisition of the equipment. Portfolio Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton says the ultra-operating imaging equipment will enhance health outcomes for patients in that section of the island.
40% of the patients on both emergency, urgent, and elective waiting lists at the Montego Regional Hospital are referred from the Maypen Hospital, and approximately 10% of those patients on the elective and emergency urgent list of KPH Maypen Hospital patients. As a result, the no C-arm and now with a C-arm, the surgical waiting list will be substantially reduced.
The Maypen Hospital recorded more than 3,600 visits to its orthopedic clinic between February 6, 2017 and the end of May this year. Dr. Tufton thanked the Japanese government and its ambassador for the contribution. In reply, Japanese ambassador to Jamaica, His Excellency Hiromasa Yamazaki, said Japan was happy with the cooperation between both countries.
Our commitment to assist in improving the health sector needs of Jamaica continues to be our core priority for the people and government of Japan, and so as a responsible member of the global community.
The Education Ministry is assuring parents and other stakeholders that PEP students will be assigned a secondary school using the same placement mechanism that applied for GSAT. The assurance comes from Terry Ann Thomas Gale, manager of the ministry's Student Assessment Unit.
Students will be scored based on their raw score received in the subjects mathematics, language arts, science, and social studies. These raw scores will be transformed into standard scores, and each standard scores, we will use the standard scores to derive a composite scores, and based on the composite scores, the students will be ranked from 1 right up to 45,000, because we have 45,000 students registered to sit the exam.
Mrs. Thomas Gale gave the assurance during the ministry's quarterly press conference held on Thursday. At the briefing, Education Minister Senator Ruel Reid affirmed that the results from this year's performance task mock exam would have no bearing on next year's actual primary exit profile examinations. He also stressed that the ministry stood by the report that was done on the preliminary results.
We maintain that information presented on the combination of standards met and standards nearly met scores were deliberately done as based on the nature of the performance task and specifically the areas that were assessed. Both standards are deemed to be satisfactory score.
Performance task component of the 2019 test has been rescheduled to March 27 and 28, the ability test on February 26, and the curriculum-based component on April 16 and 17. Minister Reid says all schools that need it are getting critical support to prepare, and the ministry intends to send additional practice questions to the institutions in early January. The Firearm Licensing Authority, FLA, will be starting a full compliance enforcement drive early in 2019. The law requires all firearm licenses to be renewed annually, with rounds accounted for and weapons inspected. Failing to do so carries a penalty of up to 12 months imprisonment or a fine of $200,000. As of January 3, the FLA says it will be providing the Jamaica Constabulary Force with a list of license holders who have not renewed their licenses for years to have these persons charged under the provisions of the Firearms Act. The authority says it has also begun discussions with the Passport Immigration and Citizenship Agency, PICA, to implement a system where an alert will be placed at all airports on delinquent license holders who are leaving the island. All delinquent firearm license holders are being encouraged to make themselves compliant before Thursday, January 3, 2019, to avoid any possible consequence under the law. The National Commission on Science and Technology, NCST, is working on an amendment to the Food and Drug Safety Act to identify nutraceuticals as a special category. Addressing a recent JIS think tank, Director General at the NCST, Professor Errol Morrison, revealed that a submission regarding the amendment had already been sent to Cabinet. He identified nutraceuticals as one of the fastest growing areas in the health industry, but lamented that they did not go through the kind of robust regulations required for formulating a drug.
What we're trying to do is to ensure that not, negating what they are claiming, but to ensure that the public is protected, the safety. So who is making it, how it is being made, where it is being made, it must adhere to some minimum standards. And this is what we're working on as a group to ensure that we can, meet the international standards for nutraceuticals.
Professor Morrison also informed that the Science, Technology and Innovation ST&I policy should be in place by 2019. And finally, 25 employees from resort properties in Treasure Beach, St. Elizabeth, have been certified by the Private Security Regulation Authority, PSRA, under a security training program. The PSRA security training program was done in collaboration with the Tourism Product Development Company, TPDCO, to facilitate Jamaica Tourist Board JTB certification. At the recent graduation, Information Youth Minister and Member of Parliament for Southwest St. Elizabeth, Floyd Green, said the best way to build tourism was to build the country's human resources. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Stephen McHugh. Thanks for watching.